Losses and more losses have been recorded as floods continue to ravage many parts of Nigeria. The federal government has described that severe flooding has so far killed more than 600 persons, displaced about 2 million others, and destroyed over 108,393 hectares of farmland across the country. Speaking in Abuja, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, warned of more devastating effects in Anambra, Cross River, Rivers, Delta, and Bayelsa states. She urged the state government to relocate residents in flood-prone areas to high ground. We actually spoke with our correspondent yesterday, Ikenna, and he told us in Delta states, at about 12 local governments,
are submerged,
affected, and those ones
the river
sharing River Niger, the riverine areas, and we have this kind of disaster, and some state governments, like the Bayelsa state government, is calling on the federal government to actually declare a state of emergency because it's really, really bad. Humanitarian crisis, and if we're not good with figures, if we have 630 persons said to have lost their lives, 2 million others displaced, and you can imagine the kind of havoc this flooding would have wreaked.
Yes, we have a problem about planning in our country because we know that these areas are flood plains. It's not, there's nowhere to hide it.
The last time something like this happened was 2012.
Yeah,
it has never been this bad.
It was on every map that you can see that these are floodplains. Yet our people will go there and build. Like I said earlier, you have to understand two things. Once the River Niger and Benue are purged, if I can use that word, is land that is nearest that they will flow to. Normally, this will take about a week or two to form the shape back. But something is wrong with it because we are building on these floodplains. The water have nowhere to go. So they become stagnant because of so many obstacles that I'm sure they are not good. That's why lowlands, including Lagos, are usually very protected when it comes to alerts about things of this nature happening. And most states that I know will have plans to ensure that the water that flows in will flow out as quickly as possible. But Kogi has been flooded for about 6 weeks. Part of Anambra have been flooded for about 5 weeks. And yet we are still talking about it 6 months later. And I don't understand because you assume that governors of states that are bordering that river will have plans in place in case of this emergency. We know some countries that do drills for something to happen. They will have done the drills. Okay, if this is to happen tomorrow, this will be our reaction, so they can cut off reaction time. Let's say it will take them 3 hours. They want to do it in 2 hours. And everybody is prepared. In case it floods tomorrow, what are you going to do? Are people to start praying to God or doing kokomi or whatever they do instead of planning? So
now, in Delta State, they are said to have even opened like 10 IDPs. That's because of people we have to, okay, this is a picture of the IDPs.
Yeah.
Because...
And then this is a picture of attempts to open the drainages. Dredge and open the drainages. You see, AY, my concern about this is 2022.
Yeah.
We are going to be alive in another 5-10 years, and this will happen in some states again. And you and I will remember, we discussed this. I was reading up, and I realized that in Anambra, for example, around 2004, 2005, there was a devastating flood like this. You can imagine from 2004, 2005 till now. The question we should ask the successive administration is, what efforts were made to ensure that this, is taken care of?
Okay, let me quickly go for this commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more. Thank you for staying with us, and we are looking at the flood situation across the country, and then a dam was opened in Cameroon and said to have affected these states and everything. So what are we doing to make sure that we forestall future occurrences?
Well, the only thing is to have we already have an agreement with Cameroon. In fact, we have the River Niger authority. I think 3 countries or 4 countries are part of this tripartite commission that ensures that, like, but Cameroon warned us. They told us that they are open to free the dam. So I assume that those who are closest to the waters were aware of this. But in the normal Nigerian mentality, we wait until it happens, then we start lamenting, and we start grandstanding. It seems to be what we do as a nation. We need more. The dams, of course, River Niger and Benue passing through many countries. They are not native to us. They just go into the sea through our own territory. So there's a limit to what we can do to control the narrative that we face. What we can do that we've not done is what I said. We ought to have a plan in place in case it happens. So do not catch us unawares, and then we start lamenting as we do.
Okay, look at these visuals I'm seeing now. How do you help this community?
Because it's obvious
there's going to be
they are underwater.
Are underwater.
Look at this. And AY, it is not enough for us to always run to open IDPs, do humanitarian stuff. It's as if we even see that as a business.
Yeah, it is.
The way I see it. Now this water will go away eventually.
Ultimately, yeah.
What do we do to ensure that we don't have to spend money on taking care of these people again? It is simple. Is it drainages they need? Look at Lokoja, for example. That's a confluence city. It is one of the lowest parts of our country.
Yeah.
The people live so close to the waterbed, to the seaside. Will it be difficult for us to say, okay, we want to relocate you?
Totally.
Then we turn this whole place to a receiver of such waters.
That's what nature intended.
It's a waterbed. That is what nature wanted it to be. Okay, leave this place. These monies we spend every five years.
People on canoes now. This, the normal roads, normal streets. You can see street lights and everything.
That is exactly. Look at houses. These are rooftops.
Submerged.
The ones you can see are the upstairs. The bungalows are gone.
The foundation of some of those.
But do you know what will happen when this water leaves?
Everybody move back.
Everybody will move back into their house. Government will turn
business
a
as
blind
usual.
eye. It will be business as usual. It happened. It used to happen in some areas in Lagos. The government said, no, you will leave this area. And alternatives were provided. For those who remain there, they know they are illegal occupants. And that's why you are not hearing so much from those axes again. Because you see, but when we take solace, when we enjoy giving them bread and bed sheets when it happens. That is why we don't do what we ought to do. It is not enough to sympathize with them. Let these people know that this will happen occasionally, and you are at risk. So why don't we run away from it? Why don't we do what... If we have the humanitarian ministry, and the assignment is not to give bread and bed sheets, but to go to areas like this and provide lasting solutions, then I'll take that ministry serious. As long as that ministry is just to provide mosquito nets and IDP camps, I think we aren't doing the right thing.
Let me give you an example of what Lagos State did in my estate. We have problems of this. So but there are certain areas that will be submerged year in, year out. So I now called Jobokwe and his people.
The drainage.
They met with the landlords and we said, they've already built very big, something to convey the water out of the estate. But Nigerians decided on their own to create fences.
They're now blocked.
So what we do as landlords is simple. We go around the estate when it's raining. We identify areas that the water ought to pass.
Being
We'll
blocked.
go with hammers.
We'll break the
bring
fence.
down the wall. We've been to police station more than 500 times. We don't care. Because we realize that once we do that, we are saving not only the properties, we are saving lives. Because if they submerged, the cost or whatever they sell, the houses will go down. And people run into trouble. People should take advantage of their neighborhood and form things to ensure that they are
Okay. Let me quickly take this call. Taiwo is calling us from London. Thank you for staying with us, Taiwo. Oh, I think we lost Taiwo. So something would have to be done, and some states don't even have the capacity to actually respond to this.
Right.
So they will need the aid of the federal government.
That's why I would say the Ministry of Humanitarian should turn itself into a policy-making ministry that will identify areas affected
Well,
by this
don't
and provide lasting solutions.
We have instead of the Ministry of Water Resources that these people report to, River Basin authorities. That's part of their job. They are supposed to tell us areas the water is going and what to do with it.
So if they are not doing it,
They're
now
not doing
that's
their
why
job.
we created a ministry to buy
There's a whole ministry.
the bedsheet and mosquito nets. It is good that when people are in trouble, we akin to their needs. But it is better for us to prevent them from getting into trouble.
Let governments know that national disasters will come. Prepare for
What's
it.
the name? Natural.
Prepare for
So
it.
when you have for a ministry to sit down and expect
collect money.
natural disaster and respond to it, I mean, it shows our kind of approach to issues. We can do better. Fund such a ministry. There was flooding in this area last year. Go there. How do we
Relocate.
prevent flooding next year?
Relocate. Yeah.
You people have to leave this place. Instead of providing IDP camp for them, provide alternative dwellings for them.
Move them upstream.
As simple as that.
Thank you for your contribution.
It's a pleasure.
And Ganika Edebalogun, thank you for your contribution.
Always a
And that's
pleasure.
our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode